move on to the other big story of today, which is the sharp indictment of the Akhilesh Yadav government by the Supreme Court, even though the top court rejected a petition by activists seeking a CBI investigation into the Muzaffarnagar riots of September 2013. The court has said the state failed to protect its citizens and ordered it to increase compensation to those affected by the violence. Victims feel the government is not interested in a central investigation at the state level, but with just days to go before the elections and riot-accused politicians also contesting from some of these political parties, how will this all play out?
Partial relief for the Akhilesh Yadav-led Samajwadi Party government in Uttar Pradesh. In response to a series of petitions asking for an independent investigation into the riots, the Supreme Court has decided not to hand over the investigations into the 2013 Muzaffarnagar riots to the CBI or a special investigating team. But the handling of the aftermath has come in for criticism from the apex court. The Supreme Court felt that the state government was responsible for negligence in the initial stage when riots gripped the villages. It also said the state government failed to protect the fundamental rights of its citizens, and the violence could have been avoided if the centre and state had managed to get advance intelligence. Besides increasing compensation, the court said that all accused, irrespective of their political affiliations, must be arrested. The Supreme Court has also asked the government to give police protection to victims' families till completion of trial.
For the victims of Muzaffarnagar riots, the road to justice is long and arduous. But what is making them even more anxious at the moment is the fact that they will have to rely on the very same people, the Uttar Pradesh police, which failed to protect them the first time around.
जी सीबीआई जांच हो तो और अच्छी बात है, उसमें पता भी लग जाएगा कि कितने आदमी मरे हैं, कितने आदमी जले हैं, कितने को घर बर्बाद हुए, उसमें सारा डिक्लेयर हो जाएगी। अब ऐसे तो मानने के बाद सरकार या पुलिस वाले हैं या आईजी है, डीआईजी है, आते हैं जाते हैं तो आना जाना तो इनका लगा रहता है, इधर से ट्रांसफर उधर चलेगा, तो गांव में जाते कहते हैं कि कुछ नहीं हुआ।
With just days to go before the general elections, Akhilesh Yadav's government is making a moral victory of the Supreme Court decision, though the opposition is using it to target the Uttar Pradesh government.
No one's name from BJP has cropped up. This only points to the fact that the opposition political parties, the Congress and the Samajwadi Party, had been trying hard to politicize the issue.
किसी देश की शीर्ष अदालत द्वारा यह कहा जाना कि उत्तर प्रदेश की सरकार मुजफ्फरनगर के दंगों को नियंत्रित कर पाने में पूरी तरह से विफल रही, तो ये दर्शाता है कि यह सरकार कानून व्यवस्था बनाए रखने में पूरी तरह फेल है।
The UP police has not managed to arrest even half the accused in the riot cases of 2013. And though the Supreme Court may have let it off the hook for now, the UP government's promise to keep its people safe will be closely watched, more so with elections. With Tonima Biswas and Anand Zanane in New Delhi, Ketki Angre for NDTV.
Right, well, we still have Sanjay Jha of the Congress and Chandan Mitra of the BJP to take us through this discussion as well. We're also being joined by Madhukar Jaitley, the advisor to the UP government, and we're hoping to be joined in the course of the next few minutes by Zafar Mahmood, who's the president of the Zakat Foundation, who's working in the relief camps in Muzaffarnagar. Madhukar Jaitley, this question really first to you. The Supreme Court has not handed a moral victory to the UP government as it's being made out to be. They've made a very clear indictment of the fact that the Akhilesh Yadav government was not able to control the situation, not able to protect the rights of its citizens.
Maya, in fact, I believe that none of the people in the panel have been able to read the entire 92-page judgment so far, since it was released at about 12 in the afternoon. The Supreme Court has actually, after considering all the facts that were produced before it by the petitioners, nowhere in the judgment criticized the state government for not protecting and not taking adequate steps in order to bring relief to the concerned victims of the riots. Rather, it has asked the state government to ensure that the cancellation of bail takes place of all the people who were accused in the incident, and those people are mainly of the BJP. Today, the BJP president and all the members of the Bharatiya Janata Party should hang their heads in shame and read the judgment. It is on the page number 69th paragraph in the cancellation of bail, which the Supreme Court has said today that all the 5 people, the BSP member of parliament, the BJP MLAs and those people who were not given the approval for the National Security Act, they should be, their bail should be cancelled and they should be immediately arrested.
Right. Chandan Mitra, that's an important question for you to actually respond to as well, because the Supreme Court has talked about the fact that anybody accused should not be out, should certainly not be contesting this election. Now, the BJP has given at least 3 candidates tickets to contest these elections, whose names have been linked to the Muzaffarnagar riots for allegedly being participants in that Jat Mahapanchayat, making inflammatory speeches. Now, we've also had senior leaders of the BJP come out and talk about tainted politicians not being given tickets, should not be given tickets within the BJP. What is the party saying about this?
The Supreme Court has said that till conviction a person can contest the election. So, in view of the Supreme Court's clarification in this matter, there is nothing incorrect or morally wrong on the part of the BJP to have given tickets to a few people whose crime and guilt have not been proved. And it was the courts which released them on bail. Now a superior court says cancel their bail. We have always believed that the law must take its course, and obviously the Supreme Court is the final arbiter, the final judge and jury.
Okay, so you're saying that
so
it
we
doesn't
accept the Supreme Court's verdict.
So you're saying unless there's a conviction, they're perfectly free to stand. We'll come back to that. I can see Sanjay Jha nodding his head, but Sanjay Jha, just give us a moment, Sanjay Jha. We're going to go to Zafar Mahmood, who has joined us from the Zakat Foundation. Now, they are very disappointed by this order of the Supreme Court. They were actually hoping for a central probe. Mr. Mahmood?
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
You were hoping for a central probe into the Muzaffarnagar riots. You're disappointed by what the Supreme Court has done today by saying there's no need for this.
No, actually, but on the one hand, there should have been, even now perhaps the Supreme Court in its wisdom may think to properly guide that on what lines the investigation should be carried out and by whom and in what time frame. At the same time, it is very good to note by the community that the Supreme Court has fixed the responsibility and has also recognized that so much damage has been done to the members of the victim communities, and that the guidelines have been given very clearly that this much compensation should be given to such type of victims, and also that those who are responsible from the intelligence point of view, they should be punished. So it's very heartening to see the detailed guidelines given by the Supreme Court, while at the same time I am sure that the Supreme Court in its wisdom would give further directions in its judgments that on what lines and in what time frame and by whom the investigation should be carried out, so that the truth is revealed.
So, Mr. Mahmood, what do you have to say to Mr. Madhukar Jaitley, who says that it's a perfectly fair decision for the Supreme Court to say that there's no need for the CBI probe right now, and that this is an indication that the Akhilesh Yadav government is doing something or needs to do more? That's what they are saying.
Actually, as far as the immediate purpose is concerned, that immediate purpose is served by what by the portions of the Supreme Court which I have just now talked about.
Right.
At the same time, in order to go behind the scene and to find out who are the real culprits. Actually, the Supreme Court, one of the 10 major directives that the Supreme Court has given is that also identify the real culprits and bring them to book. So that for that a proper investigation is required, and we, the community and the well-wishers of the victims would urge the Honorable Supreme Court that if some sort of control mechanism is still provided by the Supreme Court.
All right. Let Madhukar Jaitley respond to you very quickly, and then we'll go to let Madhukar Jaitley respond very quickly, and then we'll go to Sanjay Jha. We know he's been waiting to make a point. Mr. Jaitley, can go ahead.
You see, Maya, what has happened? What the Supreme Court has delivered in its judgment today, it says that the intelligence agencies must ensure that such a kind of recurrence should not take place. in future. And if anybody from the intelligence agencies, whether it is the state or the center, who is found guilty of any kind of lapses in future, should be punished, however high or low it must be, irrespective of the rank. Now, Maya, let me tell you, with regard to my friend who was talking on behalf of the Zakat Foundation today,
must be proceeded against.
Right. Yeah, yes, Mr. Jaitley, finish your point.
Correct. It says this is the no, Maya. This is not in the last paragraph of the judgment. Should I read it out? I can read out the final argument of the final judgment of the Supreme Court, in which it says that I'll just read it out to you. It very clearly says that the action shall be taken against those who are actually found guilty with regard to the recurrence of this kind of an incident, not with regard to what has happened. With regard to what has happened, it says
Nonetheless, Mr. Jaitley, as the government, don't you feel that the people who have been indicted in some way are being investigated? I mean, there is a reason and there is a need to bring them to justice as well. There are people still living in the relief camps, still living in fear. There's an election around the corner. They don't know which way to go. They've got BJP candidates who have been accused in this, a BSP candidate who's been accused in the riots as well, all running around asking for votes. What is the
judgment clearly it indicts the state government. It clearly says that the state government, which had set up a special investigating cell, has been adequate, and therefore it has denied the role and denied the requirement of a CBI or a SIT probe. The Supreme Court has therefore said that the role of the state government is found to be absolutely perfect in investigating the case.
Okay. Mr. Sanjay Jha, let's come to you. For what do you think should be the right move forward on Muzaffarnagar right now? Given
BJP leaders should today hang their heads in shame, because the BJP has been accused by the Supreme Court, Maya, in these members of the Legislative Council and the Legislative Assembly have been found guilty, and the Supreme Court has directed the state government to ensure that the bails are cancelled.
You are not saying anything about the Samajwadi Party's role in leaving the poor victims
and the General Secretary of the
out in the cold, who was responsible for reciting these. You should be hanging your heads in shame.
Now it has been proved beyond doubt.
I'm sorry to say, the Samajwadi Party left its own supporters out to die in the camp.
Samajwadi, you are not above the Supreme Court. Mr. Mitra, you are not above the Supreme Court.
No, I am saying it's Supreme Court is wrong. Are you denying all the reports? Are you denying all the reports? I am saying that in the aftermath of the riots, Samajwadi Party left its own supporters out to die in the cold and out of rain, and we all saw those pictures. Are you denying that?
In the aftermath of the riots, the Supreme Court has taken note of all the facts that were produced before us, before it, and all the 5 constitutional agencies, including the Human Rights Commission, the Women's Commission, the Minorities Commission, the other 2 commissions, they all have submitted and given a clean sheet to the state government. And today it has been proved by the Supreme Court order, Maya.
Mr. Jaitley, one moment. Yes, we understand what you're saying. Sanjay Jha has been trying to get a word in. Mr. Jha, my first question to you, A, respond to what Madhukar Jaitley is saying about today's Supreme Court verdict. B, how difficult does this make it for the Congress to actually, look at post-poll alliances going forward with the Samajwadi Party in the current context, when there has been a clear indictment of the Akhilesh Yadav government by the Supreme Court?
Or the BSP. Or the BSP.
Okay, all right. Sanjay Jha, respond.
Maya, let me tell you, I don't think we are looking at any post-poll issues where Muzaffarnagar is really a serious issue of human rights violation. It's a communal riot that we are discussing.
But it
and
is
I
a
think,
serious
the
issue of human
pertinent
rights
point that I will
violation.
tell Mr. Jaitley, it is absolutely. And I can tell you this for a fact. That's exactly what I'm saying is a serious human rights violation. I don't want to discuss whether we'll do post-poll alliance with the SP at all. I mean, we are talking about a very grave issue of communal riots today.
Does this make the Samajwadi Party untouchable for you?
I want to make a point. Yeah. I want to make a point here. The central government gave an advisory to the state government because, a couple of factors. UP has had a spate of communal riots. You even had the BJP appointing a very controversial Amit Shah as their commander-in-chief for the UP campaign. Everybody knows that UP has been polarized for religious purposes.
None of your business.
The point that you got, the point, Maya, that we got to recognize, and the fundamental question that I think everybody is asking today, that the communal riots are always orchestrated in India. It might have started with a spontaneous, some kind of a reaction between two communities, resulting in violence and death. But then communities from different political parties come into play. And that's exactly what's happened in Muzaffarnagar. And that's something that the state government has to be completely responsible for. And the BJP, shameless and absolutely shameless, brazen enough,
what
to give
BJP
tickets
government?
to two people for the
Your
Lok Sabha
allies in
election.
power in UP.
And I think that, in my opinion, it makes a mockery of criminal justice. And it's absolutely shocking to hear Mr. Mitra today. Mr. Mitra's party goes to town on every issue, and he actually now is quoting Supreme Court when he's not quoting the Supreme Court order of today that actually should make them withdraw these two candidatures from the Lok Sabha election. But then how can they do that? Because they exist on the foundations of communal politics. That is the whole BJP character and ethos. And that's a fact.
The validity of these two political parties which are spreading violence and communal hatred in the country.
BJP is not involved in this, it's the Congress and its allies who are involved.
Okay, Mr. Mitra and Mr. Jha, can I ask you a separate question? SIT probes, CBI probes, we see demands for them time after time and instance after instance. What are we achieving? In any case, where are we achieving justice for the victims of this kind of violence anywhere in this country?
Very valid point.
Very
valid point.
Okay, one at a time. Mr. Mitra, go ahead. He started first. Yeah. Go ahead, Chandan Mitra.
I think that is what we should be focusing on. Has there been any attempt ever since the Congress orchestrated the huge riots of 1984
But this question goes to Gujarat
in
as
Delhi?
well. This goes to riots across the country.
No, it's okay, but I'm talking about 84. Gujarat, at least the legal process has been going on very, very efficiently. But in 84, you look at the condition of the Sikh victims of the 84 riots. I mean, 30 years and they are living in absolute misery. And even the Bhagalpur riots, people are living in misery. So all these riots which are engineered by the Congress party, if they haven't done anything, unless the biggest party of the country, which claims to be so secular, unless they do something when minority community members are left in this kind of dire state, I don't know what to say.
Okay, go ahead, Sanjay Jha, respond to that.
Yeah, I don't even have to respond and respect the dignity of his ridiculous charge that he's making. This is a party that I don't even want to talk about the reprehensible, regrettable Gujarat riots, and they have chosen that man as their prime ministerial candidate. Let's not even get down that road. But Maya, let me give you two statistics that will tell you how communal this party is. Uttar Pradesh has 37 million Muslims. They give one ticket for an MLA election, a state election amongst 403 seats.
It is your
Gujarat, not even one.
It is your perverted
brazen communal intentions of this party. And for your information, Mr. Mitra, I've studied the history of communal riots in this country. Whenever it started, at some point is the RSS and Sangh Parivar that has actually gone ahead and created an inflammatory environment. It's your people who actually encash on communal riots historically since 1947. And that's the truth of life.
84, your leaders moved around with cans of petrol.
The people of India are going to reject you for the third time because you are a communal political party. You will be rejected for a third time.
I want to bring Mr. Zafar Mahmood into this.
They threw burning tires on their necks, and this is your party's record. Please don't talk about riots.